Okay, hold on. My name's Stephen Nall, and I'm going to read an excerpt from my book. Uh, so just to give a little history on where I'm at this point in the book, I have a twin brother, Jacob, and I have a friend who's also co-defendants with me, and we're incarcerated for a shooting. So I'm just going to read part of this. We left Jacob. I can still remember giving my twin brother a hug and feeling him shaking. The fear that was not just present upon his face, but felt through his hug. It was sad. His body was tense and rigid. His voice was shaky and scared. So much shame and guilt plagued me to this day. If I had not had that gun and given it to Jacob, we wouldn't be in this position. But the reality is that if it had not been this crime, it would have been another. I didn't force Jacob to shoot the gun. He did what he wanted. The blame cannot solely be placed upon my shoulders, and yet 15 years later, I sit with the weight of this guilt upon me. I feel it in my back, holding me down and slowly drowning me. With one look in the mirror, I see the years that this hardship has left in me. The mask is there. It's a simple mask. One hidden behind a smile, blue eyes, neatly groomed blonde hair, the look of innocence that can easily be mistaken for your son, your brother, the local mailman, a real estate agent, a county sheriff. But the truth is, I'm none of those things. I'm nothing but a felon, an inmate. I still try to hold my head high and to be strong in the midst of the oppression that I've subjected my mind and my body to, but it's hard. My family and loved ones, they are my anchor. They are my northern star. My ties to the community that binds me to the self-transformation from a criminal to a productive and honest man. Little Bear and I quickly left and headed towards the bus. We did exactly what every person in every movie gets caught for. We headed back to the scene of the crime. The main reason was we needed to catch another bus back to where we decided to go, but the bigger reason was for our own curiosity. As the bus headed through the crime scene, we were diverted to a side street. We could still see everything taped off, though. The shell casings were numbered. We saw that the Old Navy window had been shot out, and I later found out that one bullet had went through the store. Thank God that nobody was injured from one of those stray bullets. It's enough to know that one person was shot this day and hurt. I don't know if I could live with the thought of someone else's toddler or mother becoming a victim on a Christmas Day shopping adventure. We exchanged looks, Bear and I, but we didn't make any comments. We just got off the bus and headed back towards the start of this tragic story. We were on our way back to Tacoma Community College Transit Center when I received a cell phone call from my stepfather, Pete. He asked me if what I had told my brother Brandon was true. I told him that it was, and that all this was real. It really did happen. He begged me to meet him at the McDonald's across the street from TCC, and I said that I would. Our bus stop was approaching, and I told Little Bear to make sure that he wiped the gun down and threw it over the Narrows Bridge, because we'd get more time if they found the gun. He said that he would handle it and not to worry. I got off the bus and I met with Pete at McDonald's. As soon as he saw me, he asked me to put my arms out in order to be patted down. He wanted to make sure that I didn't have a gun on me. I explained that the gun was being thrown over the Narrows. We sat down and we ate a meal together. I told him the whole story. I could see the look of pain and torment upon this man's face. As many problems as we had over the years, he was still a father figure to me. I spent so many years hating him. If I could just go back and put that much energy into loving him, would things be different? Would my youth be filled with love instead of anger, instead of hate? That man has done more for me than any man in my life to date. He clothed me, he fed me, he attempted to instill upon me those morals and disciplines that our great military instilled inside of him. And whether he knows it or not, he gave me discipline and he gave me fortitude, but he also gave me anger, he gave me rage. He gave me strength where others are weak. He told me to never start a fight, but to finish it. And yet his actions taught me to punch first. It's conflicting. He taught me to never take shit from anyone, but where do I draw the line? I was left conflicted, angry, filled with rage, and always quick to fight. I had a big mouth and would quickly take to violence with the smallest of issues. He can't be blamed completely, though. Some must be nature, and some must be nurture. The fact was that I loved him, and I hated him, all in the same breath. And with that breath, I told him everything that happened that day. I spilled my guts. How could I hide from him? I couldn't. It wasn't possible. He could see through me. He could see inside me. In that moment, I was as transparent as a jellyfish. The mask was gone. The rage was gone. I was left with the actions of what occurred that day. He told me that the boy had not died, and Pete held me as I cried. I told him and told me that it would be okay. But I knew that things were far from okay. He was the last person to hug me and feel my youth, because in a few days that innocence would be lost, and the start of a violent boy turned into a man was only inevitable. Thank you for listening. That's just an excerpt, so hope you guys like it. All right.